You have a C of a land, it doesn't mean you have the land. Because the land use act make it clear. Where you are bringing in an infrastructure, from the middle of this infrastructure, 150 meters to that side, now belongs to the federal government, except where the president gives a waiver. Ditto for the other side. Beginning of this road, you will see that there are so many structures there, development. The honorable minister talked to the presidency, and the president actually gave a waiver around that area. Anything from 5 kilometers, that is changing 5 kilometers to the end, the land on both sides of the road, from the center of the road up to about 150 meters away, belong to the government. And it falls under UNCLOS law of the sea. Because you have the sea there, and after the sea.
So is that the setback now?
Is that the setback?
Is that the setback?
Setback. We have the
150
setback
meters.
already.
Generally, except where the president says, I am giving a waiver.
Okay.
But the truth about it is that when you have this infrastructure, when you are talking about the national road, it's 50. When you talk about local government, it's 30. When you talk about this kind of road, it's 150.
Did you tell us your name, sir?
So that is the Surveyor General of the Federation of Nigeria talking about the setback for the coastal road. He said it's 150 meters both ways from center of the road. We all know what 150 meters is. He was citing the UNCLOS, that is the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. And then he gave the exception to this so far, which is 5 kilometers from the beginning of the coastal road will be exempted from this 150 meters setback both ways. That simply means 5 kilometers from VI, where the coastal road starts from, that is from that Eco Atlantic and Eco Hotel as you are coming in through the coastal road. All the properties on both sides, belonging mostly to but after kilometer 5 to if you like, say 750 kilometers of the entire coastal road all the way to Calabar, the setback would be 150 meters, except where the president gives waiver or exception to certain property owners. So that means you may have to start applying if you have property along there or your ancestral village is there. Go and start applying immediately to the presidency to get your waiver. But let me get serious. What this simply means is that most of the villages along the coastline are going to be wiped out, but just by setback. Because already, if you look at most of these villages, their extensions are not more than 250 in width, because these are villages that are not wide. They are only along the coast like this. They are not that wide. And their extensions are not fully granted. Most of them, the extension will be like half of the village in length. In width, that is given extension. The rest is government acquisition. And for most of the villages to about 60 to 80 meters or even 100 meters in some cases is already taken by the realignment of the coastal road into their extensions. Because initially, the original design of the alignment was behind the villages. I'm citing example of the Mopo, Jebudas Mopo 1, Mopo 2, Moseri Kogo, Iwere Kun all the way to Awofin Odusino Jegi, Solo Alade, Solo Rumija, Yegondo, Debojo all the way down to Eleko. Most of the villages like that, all those ancestral ones, their extensions are not wide, and the coastal road was designed or was gazetted to be in the government acquisition land for coastal road project behind the village extensions. But now that the road realigned onto the village extensions, they already cut their extensions by up to about between 40 to 60% because it varies. In some places even the ocean has receded to an extent. So now, after already taking average of 40 to 60 meters of the line with the realignment of coastal road, you want to wipe the remaining of these extensions by the setback, 150 meters. So if you have ancestral village along that coastline, go and check your extension. What is the width in entirety? That's number one. Number two, I think it's time for Redan to rise to this occasion. Most of your members who have acquired properties along that coastline who want to commence development may be denied because they will now fall within setback. So Redan, it's time to wake up. Property owners, landlords, investors, buyers, all of you indigenes, it's time to really get together and start working on getting the presidency to understand. For instance, if the first 5 kilometers could be exempted already because of the level of developments in them, they are already built up areas, how about also preserving the exceptions automatically for these ancestral villages? Otherwise, you may want to relocate them sake of the 150-meter setback, resettle them in the government acquisition property. At least for most of these villages I just mentioned now, the original coastal road alignment is still there lying vacant. So maybe you want to relocate them there and make the road free as you want it. And I also think that most landowners along that corridor who have already been impacted, their land have already been impacted or cut out by the coastal road realignment, I think they should be given automatic waiver too to allow them enjoy the remaining portion after coastal road already affected them. Otherwise, it will be totally unfair. I think there has to be something workable for mutual benefit, government, investors, and citizens alike. Thank you.